So, do you guys think there are fish ethereals? I just thought about that. Anyways, hello everyone. I've been blessed with early access to Ukunami Yuzuha, and I'm here to share all of her animations and gameplay of her. Not only that, but yeah, there's a swimsuit skin, and I'll show that off in a bit too. But for now, we're just gonna stick with this. Anyways, before we get into it, I just want to note that this is all recorded on the Zenless Zone 0 create a beta server. Anyways, let's just get straight into it, guys. All right, so first off, as you can see, she's got a little raccoon. She's the second character to be holding an umbrella next to Vivian. Vivian was the first, and Yuzuha was the second. Sooner or later, we'll have 3 people who can carry an umbrella, and then you can have a full umbrella team. Hopefully, they're anomaly, and so you can have a full anomaly umbrella team. That'd be really funny. Here's her animations. I'll show off the swimsuit one too here in a second, but here's her animation. And here's her swimsuit one. I'm just going to do that again for you. All right, and so Yuzuha is a physical support. She is anomaly based, so she's meant for anomaly characters. I will say she kind of is like Astro Yao, but for anomaly characters. A quick overview of her kit. She's kind of like an off-field agent, mostly like the stunners we've had recently, like Trigger, Poltra, Jufufu. She kind of plays exactly like how those characters play, except she's more of a supportive type for anomaly characters, as in that she gives a ton of attack, and she also gives anomaly build-up rate. So she does have 2 thresholds you want to reach. The first threshold is the attack threshold, which is 3,000. As you can see here, it actually tells us. But yeah, so once you hit 3,000 attack, she will give 1,200 attack to all allies. And for her team up bonus, if she hits 200 anomaly mastery, she will give 20% attribute anomaly buildup and attribute anomaly damage and disorder damage. Most of her attacks are basic attack based. Basically, when she's off field, all of her like follow-up attacks are just like basic attacks. And you don't really need to like know what they do, but they increase your anomaly buildup rate, basically. She has aftershocks just like all the other characters, and she's pretty strong. Another thing to note, she has an ability when you use her EX special, which is called Sweet Scare. And Sweet Scare is really cool because she'll do a basic attack, and the basic attack follow-up will turn into the attribute of the next attacker. So let's say you have like Jane or Miyabi, like an ice attribute. Her aftershock damage attacks will actually turn into ice damage attacks instead of physical ones, which is pretty cool. It helps build up anomaly and helps with the damage as well. Not directly, but it does help build to do more damage, which is really nice. I'm running 171 anomaly mastery and then 3,000 attack. The reason that's so important is that at 171 is the highest you'll get without her W engine. And as this is a free-to-play showcase, you will never actually hit 200 anomaly mastery, the free-to-play W engine. You will actually need her W engine at this current moment to hit the 200 anomaly mastery threshold. She does just fine with 171. Yeah, it's still like 14%, so it's not horrible if you don't have her W engine. Then she is a support. She has no access to anomaly W engines, which would help her get anomaly mastery or anomaly proficiency or whatever. But her W engine gives 60% energy regen and has a base attack of 713, just like all the other limited time W engines. For her W engine description, basically it gives 30 anomaly mastery when she uses her EX special or ultimate, and when she does an aftershock, she actually increases the anomaly proficiency of all members. This W engine is like super strong on her. So if you can get it, I suggest getting it. If not, it's okay. You have a lot of other options. If you have an extra Astro Yao W engine for some reason, you can use that. If not, it's okay. For 4-star W engines, Bashful Demon's not that bad, so you don't really use her EX special that often, just when it comes up. But you could use the Bashful Demon. You can also use Kaboom the Cannon, which is what I have on right now. But yeah, you can use the Kaboom the Cannon at 1 star. It gives 50% energy regen, which is really nice. You can use her EX special a lot and keep your buff uptime. And it also increases the attack of all units, which it's just really nice. Not too many options, I'd say. And if you don't have Kaboom the Cannon, you can use Slice of Time, which is the W engine that you get from the store. The W engine store, I mean. And it just helps you get your ultimate faster and then also helps you regen energy. It also has pen ratio, which isn't really needed on Yuzuha at all. So I suggest just sticking to like Kaboom the Cannon or Bashful Demon. Onto her distribes. So before I talk about her 4-piece sets, I do want to talk about her 2-piece sets. So 100% of the time, you will be running, at this current moment, only Phaethon's Melody, which gives you Anomaly Mastery. If there are distribes in the future that give Anomaly Mastery, I would suggest running those as a 2-piece set as well, if you can, but either or works. And then for your 4-piece set, you can either run Astro Voice or something like Swing Jazz. Swing Jazz is also really good for your 4-piece set. At this current moment, I'm unsure if other drive sets are better or worse. because I haven't done too much testing. But you have Freedom Blues. Freedom Blues is also a decent set for her, but I would really just stick to either Astral Voice or Swing Jazz for now, since they're both pretty good. I'm using Astral Voice. That's just my preference, but you can use Swing Jazz if you want to for the extra energy regen and then the extra damage. Keeping up the stacks on Astral Voice is a little difficult, but she does provide quick assist, so it's not a bad choice. And so this is the free-to-play option I was running. For Disc 4, it's attack percentage, Disc 5 is attack percentage, and then Disc 6 is Anomaly Mastery. The only substat you're really looking for as well is attack percentage. But yeah, you will almost always want Anomaly Mastery for your 6th slot because it just maxes out her team-up bonus, which is really nice. And yeah, like I said, you won't be able to hit 200 Anomaly Mastery without her W engine, so don't worry about that. She doesn't even need it. Like, I was testing some free-to-play teams with her. She's still really good even with free-to-play, so yeah. All right, so let's just get into the gameplay showcase. All right, so I'm doing a voiceover because I got really lazy to talk during the actual gameplay, but as you can see, Yuzuha can be mostly ran with either Vivian or Bernice, and then mainly an Anomaly DPS, like a main Anomaly DPS, I mean. In the background, I'm going to be showing off weekly bosses and also a Shu defense boss, which is most likely Jane Doe in the background. They're all going to be using free-to-play W engines. That means Weeping Gemini on any Anomaly character, and then Kaboom the Cannon on the lowest overclock for Yuzuha. Weeping Gemini is actually a really good W engine for all Anomaly characters since it gives disorder damage. And Kaboom the Cannon is going to be a really good free-to-play option for her. I like to use Jane because she has been giving the best results so far, but that could change in the future with the introduction of Alice. She is an Anomaly DPS, as we saw in the drip marketing, so they could probably be very good together, but I don't have gameplay on Alice at this current moment. But any team really with 2 Anomaly DPS characters would do pretty well. Teams like Vivian Jane, Bernice Jane, even a team like Miyabi Yanagi. Though in a team like Miyabi and Yanagi is going to get more benefit over someone like Miyabi, which is your main source of damage. Miyabi scales off of crit damage more than Anomaly, so she's not going to get as much effect from Yuzuha as you would with Astriel, I'd say. So in the gameplay, as you can see though, Yuzuha doesn't really get a lot of field time because you don't really need her on the field to get all her buffs. And she also has a permadot, which is pretty cool. Moving on to the Shu defense boss, fighting Jane with Jane is like a full-on anime fight. It's actually insanely crazy what's happening in the background. Yuzuha basically only comes on field like a few times, and that's usually when I need to use her EX special or Vivian's EX special or their chain attacks / ultimates. Overall, this team is like super good, even without their signature W engines. Now, having Yuzuha's signature W engine would be so good, or even having Vivian's W engine here would also be really good. But it just shows you don't need any of their W engines to make this team work, and it's mostly just because, I mean, Vivian's really strong by herself, Jane's super strong with Vivian, and then, I mean, Yuzuha just gives so much damage to like your Anomaly DPS. It's kind of crazy. Anyways, guys, I'm gonna stop yapping for a second. Enjoy the gameplay of Yuzuha, and I'll catch up with you guys in a second. And as you can see, we did it in about 2 minutes, which is pretty good, I'd say. I actually was able to defeat this boss in 1 minute 48 seconds. So this team is really strong. All right. And now moving on to the team section. As you can see here, I have a wide variety of characters. As you can see on the top, I have your main anomaly DPS, the one that will be on field mostly. That would be either Jane, Miyabi, or Yanagi, and in the future, Alice. Not bad options. I suggest using either Jane or Yanagi over Miyabi. With Yuzuha, Miyabi benefits more out of Astral Yao. For your secondary slot, there's a lot of options, really. Let's say you're running like a solo DPS, either like Miyabi or Jane, and no extra support. You could run like Astra, Lucy, basically like any other support with them, and then Yuzuha as well. But if you have Vivian or Bernice as your secondary teammate, that would be very nice, as they're really good. They go hand in hand with the top line over here. I personally like running Vivian with Yuzuha, and then an anomaly DPS like either Piper or even like Jane, Miyabi, or honestly even Grace. You could run Grace if you want to as well. Yuzuha is very strong. He's basically the Astral Yao replacement on any anomaly team that you've had in the past, so that's really nice. That was quick, simple, and easy. Let's just move on to her Mindscape cinemas. So onto her Mindscapes. Yuzuha's M1, Bulky Constitution. Yuzuha regains 30 energy when she enters the battlefield. Enemies in the Sweet Scarce state will have all their attribute res reduced by 10%. The attribute anomaly damage and the disorder damage buff from the additional ability is increased by 130% of its original value. This is just straight up more damage, and it gives you an extra EX special, which is really nice. And also, the all attribute res is something that is really, really good with anomaly teams. So her M1's pretty strong. That's her M2. When Yuzuha's EX special or ultimate hits an enemy, all squad members' damage and anomaly buildup rate increases by 15%, lasting 40 seconds. Repeated triggers reset the duration. When a heavy attack hits an enemy that is not stunned, it will trigger a chain attack. Chain attacks triggered this way have reduced interrupt level and can only occur once every 20 seconds. When another character enters through a chain attack, Yuzuha regains 1 sugar point, and Yuzuha's basic attack hard candy shot cooldown is reduced by 25%. Other than the big 15% damage increase and anomaly buildup rate, you also get a 25% reduction to her aftershock basic attack, which is the one that lasts 8 seconds. So it would trigger every 6 seconds, which is really nice, and then also you get more chain attacks. Onto her M3, it's just a skill upgrade +2. Her M4, all of Yuzuha's assist follow-ups increase by 30% and anomaly buildup rate by 20%. This also triggers a quick assist when it hits an enemy. So the common theme here is a lot of her Mindscapes, almost all of her Mindscapes are giving anomaly buildup rate, which all in all is the basic concept of having Yuzuha in the first place, is that she helps build anomaly faster, and she also gives really big damage buff to all of your teammates. So anything that gives anomaly buildup rate helps tremendously. Onto her M5, which is another skill upgrade +2. Then onto her M6, gain 1 additional sugar point when successfully parrying enemy attacks. Using defensive assist or basic attack Tanuki Cloak, when using assist follow-up stuff hard candy shot, hold your basic attack to charge for up to 0.8 seconds, releasing your basic attack or reaching full charge fires an extra powerful shell at the enemy. For every 0.4 seconds charged, Yuzuha consumes 1 sugar point to fire an additional powerful shell, each dealing 300% of her own attack as physical damage. If any powerful shell hits an enemy suffering Sweet Scare, it triggers 1 basic attack Sugar Burst Sparkles max attack and increases all squad members' disorder damage multiplier by 105% for 40 seconds, stacking up to 3 times, with each stack duration being calculated separately. If Yuzuha is attacked while charging, she will automatically dodge, and the attack will immediately unleash a max charged attack. I'm gonna be so real. This is like the hey, I want to use Yuzuha on field Mindscape, and then you just use her on field whenever you want. It's kind of funny, but I mean, if you ever get her M6, you deserve to have her on field. Like, I don't know why you... Anyway, that's all our Mindscapes. That was pretty fun. I highly suggest going for Yuzuha's W engine. I think Yuzuha's W engine is much better overall, as you can max out her anomaly mastery to 200 and also giving anomaly proficiency. Not only that, but you get also 60% energy regen, which is really, really nice considering the only one that gives energy regen is Kaboom the Cannon. Anyways, that's all for Yuzuha. I love her design. I love her swimsuit outfit. I love everything about her. I'm definitely gonna roll on her. And she's meant for my team, so I might as well roll for her, you know? If you have a lot of anomaly units, get her, especially since it frees up Astral Yao. Anyways, guys, if you made it this far, drop a like, please subscribe. It would help a lot. And yeah, that's it for me. More content coming soon. Thanks for watching.